Hey guys, it's your boy Fami back again with another video, and this is the third video of creepy true stories you've ever heard. He was walking along the dimly lit street back toward his house. The glow from his cell phone was the only forward-facing illumination, as he held it tightly in his hand. The only forward-facing illumination was the glow from it. At 23 years of age, he was a young fellow. He is no longer afraid, unlike when he was a child. He no longer feared the night or noise from an unknown source. He laughed at the silly jump scares in horror movies. On his computer and gaming console, he had killed thousands of zombies and demons. Be that as it may, there was something off about something. Something in the air appeared to wait, and it had weight. As he continued his journey, it appeared to follow him like a cloud of negativity. Evidently, it didn't matter if the street was well lit or not. He could feel the presence, even though he couldn't see it. Its threatening power was ever steady. Continuously, as he drew nearer to home, he felt it slip and twist around him like a shroud. It started to pervade his actual body, leaking into his mind and seeping in, like a possession that slowly absorbs. His considerations abandoned returning home and seeing his folks, something he'd constantly kept brief, with an end goal to be cool, albeit furtively he actually revered them. As he fought off his dog's boundless love and lustrous licks, he had hoped to see his dog, his true best friend, hold and gently squeeze him. He had also desired food because he was starving. However, all of those ideas of home, security, and love had vanished. He was no longer even hungry. He was now enveloped in a fog that made everything seem like a distant memory, meaningless and pointless. As he surveyed his circumstance, he understood that really he didn't feel anything by any means or nothing that was recognizable to him in any event. He had one insight. Because it felt wrong and almost dangerous, he couldn't go back home in this way. He contemplated whether he ought to forge ahead past his home or turn around toward the path he came. He felt the pull as soon as he thought the thought. He felt something tugging at the core of his being. He would be dragged back to where he had come from by it. It no longer seemed like an option for him to leave and return the way he had come. Turning and starting his process back along the natural roads and past different structures, the rear entryways that appeared to be hazier than before, that driven onto the following road. Strangely, he began to believe that this was the way back to his home, a home that felt unlike any other he had ever known. As he proceeded he saw somebody laying on the way. He slowed down his progress. He was worried, and he felt a pang in his stomach. What had happened? What could he do to aid? Should he call for help? He could see the dim soles of blue preparation shoes and the edge of light blue, stone-washed pants. His curiosity and panic both rise dramatically, causing a gnawing pain in his stomach and radiating from his core. He slowed even more as he approached this lifeless body, which was wearing the same clothes as him. He perceived the dark hoodie with the weaved logo. Pausing his breathing and too reluctant to even think about looking, likely he looked up at the face. He could feel it as it remained within him but almost had buoyancy, as the darkness that had entered him began to become lighter. On his tongue, he could now taste it as sweet as vanilla and lavender. He could now try and see it, sparkling inside and around him. It had transformed from a menacing black to a vibrant purple with ferocious amber flames and dazzling gold and silver flashes. He eventually looked at the face after maintaining his upward gaze. There was no doubt that it was him, with blood and trauma to his head and an expression of anguish and pain across his face, skin sticking to the broke bone, differentiated by the haziness of dried blood. Blood glistened across his torn muscle and sinew, as the flesh was still viscous and moist deep into the wounds. One eye had burst like a bundle of jam, detonating and collapsing across his cheek, or what was left of it. His upper jaw and teeth were noticeable with rough glimmers of white where they'd loosened up and come. However, at this point he did not experience any agony, pain, or even discomfort. As the cloud began to vibrate and excite, all he could hear was the dancing, flickering, and tickling of his own energy. He understood and recalled instantly, like a striking bad dream played in a moment, that as of now he'd been killed in a brutal assault and demise had entered him like an unwanted visitor. He'd attempted to escape and happen as typical. Perhaps the quickness and fierceness existing apart from everything else had diverted him. Maybe it had been for swearing, or more probable, it was a blend of both. However, now that he had returned and accepted his end, at least the end of this journey, he was prepared for death to transport his soul to the next dimension or realm, because death was alive and dancing within him, to enable him to continue his numerous journeys. The vitality of death embraced him at this thought, dispelled his sense of mortality, and lifted him up. As he ascended toward his celestial exit, his spirit, soul, and entire being became elated and excited, a vision that is exploding, full of unquenchable desire and potential. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos.